I always thought Jake was just my best friend. The guy who sent me dumb memes at 2 a.m., who knew my coffee order better than I did, and who'd fake gag whenever I talked about my latest crush. It was easy with him, comfortable. There was never any weird tension, no mixed signals. Just us, being idiots together. At least that's what I thought. Until tonight. We were at a party, surrounded by people, music thumping in the background. I was in the middle of laughing at something stupid when I turned and caught Jake staring at me. Not in the usual friendly way, not in the you have something on your face way. It was different. His eyes lingered, dark and unreadable. His jaw clenched slightly, like he was fighting something back. And the second our eyes met, he looked away. Too fast, too guilty. My stomach flipped. Wait. Had he always looked at me like that? And how had I never noticed? I was still trying to process it when I felt him beside me. Close. Too close. You okay? His voice was low, almost lost in the noise. But I heard it. I felt it. I nodded quickly, trying to act normal. Yeah. Why? Jake tilted his head, studying me. You're staring. I flushed. Well, you were staring at me first. Something flickered in his expression. Something unreadable. He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear. Maybe I was. The air between us shifted. My pulse spiked. This was different. This was dangerous. Jake! My voice came out softer than I intended. And then, just as quickly as he appeared before me at the party, he pulled back, like nothing had happened. Like he hadn't just completely unraveled me. Come find me when you're ready to admit it, he murmured, flashing me a knowing smirk before disappearing into the crowd. I stood there, heart racing, mind spinning. Admit what? I said. But he had left. I can't believe my best friend would confuse me like this. The moment stuck with me, nagged at me. I kept replaying it in my head, trying to convince myself it was nothing. But it wasn't. So naturally, I did what any sane person would do. I tested him. The next day, I wore his hoodie to brunch. Normally, he'd roll his eyes and joke about me stealing his clothes. But this time, his jaw tightened. His fingers twitched like he wanted to do something about it. Then, when I casually mentioned another guy texting me, he barely reacted. But when I laughed at my phone, just laughed, he set down his drink with a little too much force. Interesting. He said in the most monotone voice at night. I pushed him further by sending him a text. Be honest. Have you ever thought about us differently? It took him exactly 30 seconds to reply. Have you? He texted. My stomach dropped, because suddenly I wasn't so sure of the answer. I met up with Jake later that night. My plan was simple, get answers. But the second I saw him standing there, hands shoved into his pockets, looking at me like I was the only thing that mattered, I forgot how to breathe. You never answered my text, he said, voice calm. But there was an edge to it. A tension that hadn't been there before. I crossed my arms, suddenly feeling too warm. Neither did you. His lips quirked, but there was something serious in his gaze. You really never noticed, huh? He said. Noticed what? I asked, even though I already knew. He took a step closer, and I swore the air shifted. That I've been into you for years, he said, voice low. That every guy you've talked about, every stupid date you've gone on, I've had to sit there and pretend I didn't want to be the one you were talking about. My heart pounded. I need to know, he cut in, his eyes searching mine. Are you messing with me, or is there a part of you that wants this too? I opened my mouth, to deny it, to say something stupid, but I couldn't. Because suddenly, every moment, every touch, every time he made me laugh came crashing back. And I knew the answer. I grabbed his hoodie, fisting the fabric, pulling him closer. Shut up, Jake. Then I kissed him. And the way he kissed me back, like he'd been waiting for this his whole damn life. Yeah, maybe I liked him back. Maybe I always had.